Hi, thanks for tuning in to Men on Higher Learning today. Today's show is being sponsored by Zelda Robinson's Communication, home of inspiration and information. Yes, information on how to get free grant money for poets, artists, ex-offenders, churches, and much, much more. Now let's get down to my show today. Today is a very good show because we all know, hear about this obesity and the illnesses that's caused from all this bad eating habits, really. Today I have on my show Miss Berlina Baker. Hi, Miss Baker.
How are you?
Here. The name of your business is it?
The Stream of Life Holistic Health and Wellness Center.
Okay. All right. Now, what really goes on with this health center you guys have?
Well, our primary function when we started the center some years ago was to come up with strategies and ways that we could double life expectancy in our community within 20 years. We haven't done it yet, but we're still hard at work. But what we started to do as we researched is we found that we had to look at ways that we could teach people to stay well. Number one, not only teach them, but encourage them to do so. Because we found that a real problem that we had in our community, some people didn't know what to do. And then we had some people who knew what to do, but didn't do it.
Correct.
So we have addressed both. Our major function that we do at the center is that we are a colonic center. So we start by cleaning people's garbage and their sewer system out. And in addition to that, we use herbs, we have books, we have tapes, we have basically a learning center where people can come there and learn all kinds of techniques, strategies, and get support for staying healthier.
All right. So is any exercise involved with this here?
Yes, we don't actually do exercise there, but we encourage our people to take exercises. Our favorite is yoga, tai chi, walking, any kind of way that you get a chance to build up heat and cause the body to sweat. Okay. So we don't really do exercise there now, even though we have in the past, but most of our people are involved in something. They go to the gym. Some of them just plain walk.
Yeah, that's a good thing. They say walking is good for you. Or walking up and down stairs, they say is good.
It's even better because I'm finding now that since I don't walk up much stairs, that when I get an opportunity and I have to walk to the 4th floor, I can feel it. Yeah. So I know I need to walk up more stairs. I mean, my thighs get really tired. I went to a young people's Zumba class. Not too long ago, and they had all these young girls in there, about 20, and I decided I would do it with them. But by the time we got through moving our legs and jumping up and down, the next morning my thighs were sore as could be. But since then I've been feeling better. It's easier to get up and down. Exercise is critical.
Yeah. I know a lot of people talk about it, can't do it, get sore, but you have to do it, you know, if you want to make yourself better.
Well, we say if you don't use it, you lose it. And with your body, you can really tell it, because if you don't use those muscles, after a while they atrophy or they start to get stiff and tight. And one thing that I see is a lot of people, as they get older, they have a hard time getting in and out of cars. They have a hard time getting up and down out of chairs. It's because they have not been stretching the muscles enough.
Right. I've been told about that because I like to ride my bike on occasion. And I notice I would catch cramps sometimes, but I was told, you must stretch first. And I was like, God, I know this. Why did I not do this? But I've been more aware of that stretching part now. You know.
And really, to tell you the truth, that's why I guess we like yoga and Tai Chi so well. It's amazing how much exercise and flexibility you can get into the body with just stretching. You don't have to knock yourself out. If you just stretch. One person said to me, if you stretch each muscle to its fullest and a little bit beyond each day, just once, that's all you need.
It doesn't take much or nothing to get you going. Okay, now I was looking at this here pamphlet you gave me here, and it says eat raw foods before cooked foods. Now I know a lot of people find that hard, you know, because the taste of raw food, because you know we're all so used to our seasoning in our foods, but eating raw food is pretty much a basic key to good health. Huh?
Well, you know, it's absolutely critical. And if you think about it, when I teach classes, I get my people to look at it like this. Man is the only creature on the face of this world, this whole earth, that cooks.
Okay.
Every other creature eats their food just the way the Creator prepares it. And when it's there, coming off the vine or coming off the bush, it's already done. It's already done. So what has happened is we have devised a whole system of making the food that God prepared for us perfectly into something that becomes poisonous to our system. So we say if we're going to eat cooked food, at least eat something raw first, because the raw food has a full complement of vitamins and enzymes and minerals in it. And therefore, it has also bulk, so it helps you to move the stuff that you're going to eat later. Let's take, for example, a raw apple. If you have a raw apple, you can plant it in the ground and you can grow a whole apple tree. But if you cook that apple or you freeze it, the life force has been destroyed. So we're trying to get people back into eating more raw food. You really don't have to cook. You really don't have to cook all that food. And there are a few places now, more and more places, where they're getting people totally healed by introducing them to the raw diet.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah, I know I go to this one health food store myself, and you know, with me and by me listening to the guy who works there, a man named Percy, he always preaching to me and tell me about what herb is good for you. And he has actually gotten me to the point whereas I will actually go to the doctor now just to get a diagnosis. And I will go to a health food store to get my medications for it, which are natural herbs.
Well,
basically
you know,
that's what those doctors use, but they add other things to it. They cause other illnesses.
Well, you know, the father of medicine said that food is your best medicine. And people are just beginning to do that. You need to have somebody that encourages you, because encourages you to do better, because if not, people will just keep on eating whatever is available until they get a problem. And then when they get a problem, they go to the doctor. But what they should do is prevent having to go in the first place. Just go for checkups. Just go for an assessment, but stay well. Stay well. Do the things that are going to keep you healthy.
Right.
That's what we do. And then we try to hold people's hands. It's good that you have this gentleman. His name is Percy. It's good that you have him, because everybody needs someone to help them, to encourage them, to motivate them. You need a coach. He's your coach.
Yeah. As well as my wife, Zelda.
Okay.
She's always showing me about eating proper.
Okay.
And actually, I've written this little cookbook here. It's Southern Style Cooking, but it has a lot of health benefits in my book, you know. And I'll make you check out a copy of it.
Well, that's wonderful. I'll be happy to look at it.
My greens are excellent in there. You know, I know greens are good for everybody, and
greens.
most black people, we love greens.
Well, that's one of the good things that our people taught us. They taught us to love greens. And any animal in nature, when it gets sick, the first thing it eats, or the only thing they'll eat, is greens and water. Greens and water until they get well.
Wow.
So we have a natural tendency to love those greens. We knew that. And with food we were eating was pretty rough. Coming up in slavery, but at least we ate those greens. And my mother made sure we had greens 2 or 3 times a week. They were cooked. They may have had pork in it, but at least we got those greens. And she insisted that we eat the pot liquor also, because that's really where all the, not only the flavor, but the real essence is.
Nutrients, yeah, it makes sense too, I know we love our greens in my house.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, I'm going to start cooking them more, because normally we eat them like twice a month, you know, and only on Sundays. But I think I'm going to have to start cooking them maybe like 3 or 4 times a month. Once a week at least. And
then start taking your greens and cutting them up a little bit and eating them raw in your salads. Like we started off with iceberg lettuce, because that's what I grew up on, iceberg lettuce. That's the only kind of lettuce I think I ever ate until I started going out the ghetto. That's the only lettuce I ever saw.
Me too.
And so we started cutting up a little bit of spinach in there, and then after that, we got used to that, then we started cutting up a little bit of collards and a little bit of mustard. And different greens, you can eat them raw too.
What do you put? You put salad dressing on them, or just?
I would, you know, to make myself learn to love them, love the taste, I would make a dressing. Usually I make it out of maybe olive oil, lemon juice. Maybe I put a tiny bit of honey to like and flavorful. But I tell people, use whatever dressing that you like. Just don't use a whole lot of it. Don't have it dripping, so when you finish the salad, the bowl is full of dressing. Just a little bit, and then eat it. Eat the dressing that you like so that you can get those salad greens eaten.
Right, sounds good, man. And I know me, it's like the doctor has told me about my liver because in my younger years I was a drinker and a real good drinker at that. So I told me to cut down on it, and glad I have. You know, I'm learning to take this milk thistle. It's one of those pills you take. And
that's powerful.
Yeah, and they have other herbs you take for it, and it's like drinking this alkaline water that I get. It really helps out.
You'll see an amazing difference.
Oh yeah.
Well, one of the things that we say with alcohol, it's very dehydrating, and most people don't realize that when they drink 1 ounce of alcohol, they need about 8 ounces of water to balance that out. Wow. So it slowly dries out the system. So it's not, and it takes a lot of grain or a lot of fruit to make alcohol. Yeah. In the same way, like I tell people, people love cheese, but folks don't realize that it takes at least 1 quart of milk to make 1 ounce of cheese. Wow. That's very concentrated. Yeah. So it puts a lot of strain on the body. So if you're drinking alcohol, dilute it. I've even learned if I drink a little wine, I dilute that with water. It's easier for me. I even like the taste better.
Oh, wow. I wish I could say that. But I was one of those real drinkers, so I can't. But they always say have a waterback chaser. I always heard that. Yeah.
I heard people do that, and that's a good idea.
Yeah. So, all right. Some other good things in here that I'm reading up on. And on your program, it says if you start this herbal program, you started from 3 months to 3 years?
Well, we're talking about really getting the body healed. See, one of the things that we start with, at the top of that list, we say that there are 8 ingredients for perfect health. And the first one is pure and righteous thought. And the first thing that we let people understand is that everything is curable. Okay. Everything is healable. God does not make anything that can't be reversed. Do you know what I'm saying? Right. If something goes, it's like a wheel. You can turn it one way, you can always reverse it and turn it back the other way. So it is with our bodies. But most people don't try because they don't believe that. Right. They don't believe it. And it's going to take time because it's taken me many years to get my body in the state that I'm in now. So if I'm going to change it, I say plan a program that's going to be at least 3 months to at least 7 years. They teach us that in 7 years you can replace every cell in your body and have a brand new body.
Wow.
So if you did 7 years of complete righteousness, you could be totally reborn, renewed.
Wow.
Isn't that wonderful?
That sounds excellent.
And if people knew that and had that as a goal, they wouldn't be so content to let their bodies fall apart. That's what we're working at.
Right.
Changing concepts. I call it the facts of life, helping people understand there are certain things that are true that we need to know. And definitely the body is self-healing. God made it so that it can heal itself of any and everything. The problem is we just don't know what to do. So we study and learn, and then we begin to apply the new things that we learn. And we get better and better and better.
All right. Okay, well, we're going to hold that thought right now because we're finna go to break right now. But look, don't go nowhere because we're going to be right back with Miss Berlina Baker. And y'all can get some more learning about this health thing because we all need to do this. So stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Berlina Baker from the Stream of Life Holistic Health and Wellness Center. And you're watching Men on Higher Learning.